This feels full. Let's check out the September BARRA JACKS box. We've got the Chase Baits Flick Prawn. I say this so often, but everything that swims in the ocean and people that don't swim in the ocean love prawns. Everything eats a prawn. Now the great thing about this is it is super easy to work. Comes with a weedless hook in it as well. So all you got to do is tie this on your line, cast it out into the snag, let it sink down, slow roll back out, Bob's your uncle. Now if you want to get a little bit more advanced, you can just add slow little hops in, pauses, twitches, but these things with the little legs all along the bottom give you plenty of micro movement. So a slow roll is gonna be ample for fishing this thing, and the BARRA JACKS are just gonna be nuts for this. Now we'll move over to the 3 different plastic options we've included. We've got 3 different sizes here to cover a multitude of bases. So we're gonna start off with something here. This is the V&M Hightail Shad. So these things have a super large paddle tail on them, so we'll give a huge thump, thump, thump through the water. This is probably gonna be my first pick for jack fishing. Great profile, great size. You can rig it in a multitude of ways. If you want to rig it weedless, that's going to work as well. If you want to just rig it with a standard jig head, that'll be fine. These will swim with any jig head that you put on them. These actually skip quite nicely as well. So if you're into skipping under pontoons, under overhangs, under trees, you know, you can do that with these. They're also a good size searching plastic for big barra as well. Big barra will absolutely scoff these down, and these mimic a lot of the bait fish in our impoundments, in our rivers, everywhere as well. Another paddle tail plastic that we've included of a similar profile, similar size. These are a little bit more rounded and have a little bit of a bigger paddle tail on them. This is the 18 times strong hollow belly power bait plastics by Berkeley. So these things are scented, pre-scented, and the scent, they advertise that it makes fish hold on 18 times longer. Now what it is, they use like a scent dispersion. So aside from your normal gulp, which just reeks and sits in that liquid, these have the scent built into the plastic. So as soon as they're knocked around on things or hit, that disperses the scent, causing the fish to actually want to eat it more or hold on for a little bit longer. Now if scent isn't your thing or it doesn't sell you, the fact that these have an awesome little profile, awesome big paddle tail on the back, and they create very, very big movement in the water is a great seller. So another good size plastic as well, a little bit thicker in the body, so it's gonna mimic you, probably more like anchovies and stuff like that as well. Some bigger baits, great for the saltwater, great for the fresh. Then we jump up to the big plastic of this month's box, and that's the Damiki Anchovy Shad. Speaking of anchovies, so these things are much, much larger. These are a 6-inch paddle tail, have a huge paddle tail with a super thin actual tail shaft bit before the paddle tail, if that makes sense. So a long, thick body profile, super slim tail, then a big, big profile paddle on the back. Means that this thing, the tails just go absolutely nuts. This is my big barra or big jack plastic this month. Once again, you're gonna fish it the same way, but maybe I'll rig these up on a heavier jig head, meaning I can work them deeper, or I can also work them faster as well. Faster and deeper also works great too. So if you're fishing impoundment barra, stuns up high and they've started to drop down a little bit deeper, that's when you're gonna fish your heavier jig heads. Otherwise, if you're still early morning or you got some impoundments that have good weeds and shallow weed flats, I'll probably rig any of these plastics on a lighter head and work them over top of the weed. Now before we go any further, we have included some more leader in this one. This is a 60-pound YGK fluorocarbon. We normally choose to include fluorocarbon leader over the typical mono leader because of the aspects that fluoro has. Now it refracts less light in the water, so it's not going to be as much of a dead giveaway to the fish that it's attached to your fishing line. Not only that, but fluorocarbon also has less stretch, which means you maintain your sensitivity if you're fishing with braid. So that's the YGK bit leader in the fluorocarbon in a 60 pound. So it should be plenty for the fish that you're chasing. Now, we welcomed Ballista to the Tackle Club family a couple months back, and we're finally introducing them to the BARRA JACKS box. So if you haven't fished with the Ballista lures before, they do have a unique technology built inside them. It's like a little red flashing LED. So when the circuit from positive to negative is completed, that causes the electricity to obviously flow through it and starts the blinking LED. Now this can entice further bites. Adding in that extra bit of red can make it look like a wounded bait fish. Otherwise, if you're fishing low light situations is where this really shines. As you cast this out into the waterways that you're working and you start working the lure back to you, the red light shows you and makes it easier to actually track where your lure is swimming. So if you want to bring your lure right past this big log or boulder or lay down that's there, you can cast out into the dark. Once that lure hits the water, you can see where it is and make sure you work it past that snag to perfection. So a great little hard body there. Super strong hooks on as well, so you shouldn't need to upgrade them out of the box, it's just ready to go. So you've got your 3 plastic options there of all different sizes and colors, some super strong fluorocarbon leader, and a unique hard body in a big minnow profile. It's going to be perfect for both BARRA and JACKS. And actually I'm wearing the new Tackle Club fishing jersey. These things are very, I'm quite impressed. Little hood as well, just to keep the sun off you because it is starting to warm up at the moment. So we all got to keep our skin well protected. And this is probably the lightest fishing shirt I actually own. These things, I was blown away when I first put it on. It's like I'm nearly fishing in the nude, but I'm covered. Great UPF protection as well. So if you want to check out this fishing shirt or any of the boxes in the Tackle Club range, like the BARRA JACKS box, just head to www.tackleclub.com.au, pick a box that's right for you, and welcome to the club.